So, we are studying the chapter The Rat Trap. So, Selma Lagerlöf was a Swedish writer whose stories have been translated in many languages. So, what does that mean? It means it is a very good work. In fact, every chapter in the book is something that we learn from. She was first female writer to win a Nobel Prize. Request all of you to take things down. Whose stories have been translated into many languages. A universal theme runs to all of them. So there is one theme that is common. In the exams also they ask you what are theme, plots and settings. We will talk about them. But theme, that a belief that essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. So if you have understanding and love for a human being, they say even animals change with love and understanding. So human beings can change or not. One of the ideals behind the school and one of the reasons you all survive and we survive is because Swamiji said love rules the world. Otherwise it would be hard for me to survive and it would be very hard for you to survive. But the idea is that if you care for other people and enough and in the right way, people change. This story is set amidst the mines of Sweden rich in iron ore. So it is an old story and it is in the industrial town where iron is extracted. Iron is extracted and then iron is brought out and then it is purified and it is sent across the world. Which figure large in history and legends of the country. So in the past, Sweden was known for iron and iron ore mining. And that is what is taken as one of the plot themes and settings in the chapter. The story is somewhat told in a manner of a fairy tale. Now, for us, everything is a fairy tale because we are not in reality. We had a fairy tale story just last week, Going Places. This is also somewhat like, it is somewhat told like a fairy tale. Now, in a fairy tale, what happens? Magic happens. In real life, magic does happen. But if you have put in enough work, then magic happens. So, whenever a fairy tale is told, it starts with a once upon a time. So, you will find that this story starts with once upon a time. A fairy tale starts with once upon a time. And then it ends well, it is perfect, and it has an happy ending. Now all stories don't end like that, but fairy tales have to end like that. And I know in this school you have not read any literature. So you have not read Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Why? Because nobody wants to read. Or you have not read Cinderella. Anyways, these are girls' stories. You are a boys' school, so. But there are these other stories, so many other stories, right? Pinocchio. You have not read them. And that is why we don't know. But it is okay. Wherever we are, we need to. So it's not time to anyways read fiction, it is time to read non-fiction. But again, you will learn in time. This much everybody wrote. Chalo.
Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small red traps of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by packing in the stores or at big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. So he had to resort to both daring and bravery to keep body and soul together. Even so, his clothes were in rags, his cheeks were sunken, and hunger gleamed in his eyes.
So once upon a time there was a man who went around selling small rat traps. We've seen rat traps in houses, right? and he made them himself at odd moments. Odd moments means anytime. Anytime he liked. Why anytime he liked? Because he was free. Why he was free? Because we'll understand that he's a homeless person. He doesn't even have a home. He's a very poor person. He made them for himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in stores or at big farms. Why beg? Because very poor. Who has to beg? Somebody who is very poor. But even so, the business was not especially profitable because who wants to buy rat traps? And even if you want to buy, how many do you buy? You don't buy them. It's not like an iPhone that, even when you don't need to impress people you don't want, you keep on buying because you want to bother your parents. Who wants to buy a rat trap? Nobody wants to. So the business was not profitable. So he had to resort. Resort here, this is not a hotel resort. He had to resort here means rely. He had to rely to both begging and petty thievery. Beg. He had to beg because he did not have money, and he had to do petty, small or little important, small type of thievery, small type of chori. To keep body and soul together. To keep body and soul together means what? To survive. If you eat, you survive. Body and soul together, survive. Only if you can eat, you can survive. So, he didn't even have money to eat sometimes. His clothes were in rags, means all torn, old and torn. Old and torn. His cheeks were sunken. Why your cheeks get sunken? When you don't get food to eat, your cheeks get sunken. And people who have lots of food to eat, they are plump. And hunger gleamed in his eyes. Anywhere he looked for food. Why? Because he did not have enough. Opposite also is true. When you have abundance, like us, we also keep on looking for food. Anytime, right now also, what will be there for brunch? That is our idea all the time. And odd moments is the fact that you have to do something because there is no other way of achieving something. Chalo.
So one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond. So plots along the road left to his own meditation. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought which really seemed to him entertaining. He had actually been thinking of his traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, the
Hold
people,
on. So no one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond. So here he is a vagabond. Vagabond is a person who travels from one place to the other. Vagabond is a person who travels one place to the other. Now why? Because he is homeless. He is poor. He doesn't even have a bed to sleep, home, family to go to. Who plods? Plods means walk slowly. Again, why somebody has to walk slowly? There are people in the world like this who have to purposefully walk slowly because they have nothing to do. So, plod is walking slowly. But what is the contextual meaning of walking slowly? Why is he walking slowly? You are also doing everything slowly over here in the class. Why? Again, the same purpose. You are abundant, so you have no purpose. You have no purpose. You say you have purpose. And he has no purpose. Why? Because he is poor. What purpose would he have in life? He has no education, he has no family, he has nothing in his life, so no purpose. Everybody in the world needs purpose. Without purpose, you are nobody. Our purpose? Eat, drink, be merry, IPL scores. That is our purpose, and we want to do something else. But again, for poor people, they have no purpose. Left to his own meditations. Meditations over here is thoughts. You might think meditation means sitting in a mudra and doing dhyan. No. Meditations means thoughts. Why? Because he has nothing else to do. But one day this man had fallen into a fine line of thought. Oh, he got a thought. Sometimes for people, poor people, when they have nothing, sometimes their thoughts can help them survive. And here we'll understand, he got a good thought. It's not like perfect, but it will make him survive. Which really seemed to him entertaining. He got an entertaining thought. Now, nothing to do. We have so many things to do. But then we have nothing to do. When we go home, we play video game for 12 hours. We have so much to do, but we do nothing. Opposite. Here he has nothing to do. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps. Why? Because he has nothing else to think about. What you focus on, you get. Or what you are doing, you do. If you are a student, you will think about studies all day. Somebody asks you, what is your profession? Student. What do you do? Study all day. But you have mixed up all the different things in your mind. And that is why you are not a student. And that is why you cannot focus on anything else. This guy is poor. He has nothing except for his rat trap. So what will he think about? Rat traps all day long. Because he has nothing else to do. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, Continue. So now this is a thought. This is very important. Pay attention. It is like connected to the title of the story, and you will not get that very easily.
The whole world, with its lands and seas, its cities and villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set dates for people. It offered riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered peace and food. And as soon as anyone left himself to be tempted to such the bait, it closed on him, and then everything came to an end.
Okay. So now this is the thought he got because he was thinking about rat traps. So what is he getting? So I've made a picture. It's not very cool, but I will make one more. So the whole world, let's call this a world. Imagine this is a world map. It has all the continents, cities, world, even our place, even our small school over here, a dot, which can be visible. But it was a big rat trap. The entire world is a rat trap. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. So now what is a bait? So if you have seen a rat trap, they have a dangling mechanical part over here, and on that people put in cheese. In our world we put rotli, bhakri, etc. And what happens? Rats, they are attracted by it. And here there is a mechanism. It is open like this. And whenever a rat goes in to take the trap or the cheese, it will pull this lever down and this door will close and the rat will get trapped. So this is what a rat trap is, if you have seen one mechanically. So this is what he built. How did he build this? Stealing, thievery, begging, and then he sold this and earned some money to survive. But most of the times people did not buy this, so he had nothing to do. Very poor person. So he went around the world and then he got a thought. So entire world is rat trap. It had never existed for any purpose than to set baits for people. He is talking about everybody, that everybody who is trying to do something in the world is getting caught. Now there is a concept over here in Indian spirituality. Again, the world is a Maya. It's a big thing. I am not going to get into spirituality. But in our culture, we believe this world is Brahm, it's a Maya. And you have to come out of it by engaging yourself in Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya, and Bhakti. And there are parables. There are parables. And there is this big parable which we know and we talk about all time long, but we still don't get it because it is hard. We have to remind ourselves of this every single day. But right now we have to study. So in the war of Mahabharat, in Kurukshetra, when finally Arjun saw the army and the opposite army was full of his brothers, kakas, mamas, chachas, own family. When he saw that, he lost all hope and he put his bow and arrow down. And he said, I cannot kill my own people. And then Lord Krishna had to show him his original form. And he showed, it is called the Virat Swarup. You might, again, not interested playing with the pen because we know. He showed his Virat Swarup, in which he showed that through his body infinite souls are going and coming out. And that is where he gave him all the adhyayas of the Gita. And that is when he told him, Arjun, the people you are trying to kill are not your relatives. They are nobody to you. They are already dead, by the way. And then he had to convince him, and of course, good, we got the Gita. But in that, he told Arjun that everybody is dead. The only thing you have to get is or reach is me, which you have reached. And this is not, the war is already over. If I think I want to kill everybody, the war is already over. But I want you to become Nimit. And that is again the parable over here, because we talk about Nimit over here too much. Why are we studying, or why do we want to get into a good university? Is because, not because if you do something the world will change. If you have that idea that you will change the world, then you will get lots of ego. But the idea is, if you become Nimit, if you do something, God will work through you so that you will be able to do something good in the world. That is the idea. But people become something, somebody, and then they always think about I, who. So the world is what? The world is a Maya. Why it is a Maya? Because we know through the Bhagavad Gita about Krishna and Arjun. What did he tell Arjun? Arjun lost all hope. And he said, you are not killing your relatives. In fact, they are already dead. They are not alive. They are not alive. I have to kill my own relatives? No, they are not. It's a Maya. Everything we see over here in this world, again, too much spirituality is not good for you, but it's a Maya. So there's a parable over here, and he is right in a way. Coming back to the point. It offered riches and joys. There are so many people who have got stuck with riches and joys, or unhealthy and over darkened ways. We had talked about Swamini Vato over here. I think that a king, whatever crimes or bad things he does in one day, a common person does in 1,000 lifetimes, because he will do wrong things. Why? Because he has abundance. Same way, it offered riches and joys and shelter and food and heat and clothing. What do people do when they come on the earth? They make property, they make family, they earn degrees, they earn more, they dream for 2 cars, 3 cars, bigger bungalows, and then they die. And then whatever is left over, their sons and daughters fight over it. There are so many people, I forgot the name, I think it was Rockefeller or somebody else. He built the biggest house in the world once upon a time because he was rich. It's still there, I guess, in the US. never went to stay there. Why do people build big things? Bigger houses, bigger cars. Most of the times when we buy a car, it is lying in the parking lot. Does everybody go out every day? Every single day the car is out. But that doesn't mean you don't own a car. But it offers, the world is what? A Maya. It offers you degrees, it offers you education. But then you have to remove yourself from all of that, like Krishna advised Arjun, and you have to become a nimit or instrument of God, which is not very easy. So if you work very hard and become a scientist or a CA or an engineer or a doctor, in the end to say that, oh God, you made me what I am today, is very difficult. But again, that's a long story. First, we have to wake up in our class and listen and then understand all of this and then work towards it. So that's a far away goal. So it offered riches, joy, shelter, and food and heat and clothing, exactly as the Rattrap offered cheese and pork. In the foreign countries, they, instead of bakri rotli, they put some meat in it. Right? There the animals are also maybe meat eaters. And as soon as anyone let himself to be tempted, touch the bait, it closed on him, and then everything came to an end, and they were caught in the rat trap. So for us also, the idea of this school is to get out of this rat trap. Swamiji made this school because of that, not just education, but education is a lever with which you can understand all of this stuff. But without that, you cannot understand it. And without that understanding, you cannot have that understanding, and then you cannot apply it in your life. And that is why it is very important. So this is right or wrong? This is my question. It's a good thought, but it's not always like that. Yes or no? For good people, you keep on doing the good things. It helps you improve. And then in the modern world, it helps your family do well in life, their family do well in life, and then you survive. But it is a good thought. Now with this thought, he had nothing else to do, so with this thought he survived. With this thought, he survived. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. So he survived with the thought. You got this point? Chalo.
The world had, of course, never been very kind to him, so it gave him unwanted joy to think of it in this way.
So why did he think bad like this? Now we are thinking of Maya in another way, spiritual way. But he is thinking of all of this in a bad manner. Why? Because he is poor. Anytime he tried to do good in his life, he was not welcomed by the world. People chased him away because he looked like a beggar. People did not allow him to come near him. People did not offer him food. Sometimes he did not even have a place to sleep. Now imagine, this is a foreign country, right? It is Sweden. What would happen to him in the winter months if he has no home? Sir, we have no AC, so we can't sleep. Your forefathers slept without an AC. And the ACs have just started coming in the last 10 years in our country. Before that, how did the forefathers live? There were no summers. But with abundance, what happens? It brings us more problems. So the world had, of course, never been kind to him. So it gave him unwanted, unfamiliar joy to think of ill of the world in this way. We don't have to think like this, but he had to think like that.
It became a cherished pastime for his during many dreary loadings. To think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous net, and of others who were still circling around the wheel.
So it became a cherished pastime. He had nothing else to do. So thinking about this thought was his pastime. It was his entertainment. That is why he survived. During his many dreary means slow, unwanted, unfamiliar, uninteresting. His life is not interesting. He has to, that is dreary. Very uninteresting life, dull, drab. He has to keep walking slowly, survive, because he has no purpose in life. To think people he knew who had let themselves to be caught in this dangerous snare. Snare over here means a trap. And of others who were still circling around the bait. Means others who were still, going around in circles trying to see whether they can go inside and take the cheese. Now, what is the idea over here? The idea over here is that this thought gave him peace. He could survive based on this thought. But this is not completely true. So, if you think of your life, they will say, okay, people said go to school. Then people will say do well in university. Then people will say do well in job or business. Then the people will say become a big family, good family person. Then people will say do good for the society. So then you are putting yourself in one trap after the other. But if you come out of it thinking that whatever you do, again Krishna and Arjun, he said, keep doing the good, don't worry about the results, and keep everything that you have learned in the feet of God. Then there is no problem. But otherwise, some people may think this life is a trap. This life is a trap. And your generation thinks about this one word, YOLO. There's a word. You might not even know. Or do you know? YOLO means you only live once. So eat, drink and be merry and do whatever you want to do in your life. Is that the meaning of life? No, that is not the meaning of life. What is YOLO? You only live once, so do whatever you want. That is not the purpose of life. So then, sir, people are like you are saying, sir, do well in 12th. Then our family will say, do well in university. Then they will say, do well in job or business. What is life? This is life. You have to do what you have to do every single day without expecting any result. And if you earn anything, achieve anything, shove off that pride and put all of that in the feet of the God. That is what you do. Clear? Yes or no? So this thought gave him pleasure. Chalo.
One dark evening, as he was
Trudging.
along the road, he caught a sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside. He knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night.
Okay. Now the cottage is grey. Authors use such word to show the environment, to show the setting. Champaran was found black with peasants on the morning when Gandhi was put into the courthouse. Why Champaran was black? Were there clouds? No. The environment was sad. So over here, grey. Everything in words. We are studying this in so much detail. The same way if you start studying your physics, chemistry, mathematics, you can visualize every single subject. But we don't want to do that. And that is our problem. So grey over here. Again, sad. Why was he sad? Because he has nothing to do. He has to be sad. He doesn't even have food to eat. What will he do? So one dark evening, he was trudging, again walking slowly because he had nothing to do. It was winter. It was dark. It was getting cold. Along the road, he caught a sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside and he knocked on the door to ask for the shelter for the night. Now, if a bhikhari kind of person, a beggar, comes to our home and knocks the door middle of the night, do you think we'll be very kind to him and allow him in the house? No. If we have a house, if we have a backyard, we can tell him that, okay, stay in that backyard. And if we are too kind, we'll give him a blanket or a bed and everything and we'll keep him there. Will we bring him in the house? No. And after he leaves the next morning, will we use his blanket and everything again for ourselves, or will give him an old one? Even if we give him a new one, will we use it again? No. Why? There's a reason for it. Bhaiyo. Why is there a reason for it, bhaiyo? You don't use? Huh? Loudly.
hygiene purpose.
Hygienic purpose. What is hygiene? You will fall sick. He's a person who might not have taken shower like you, might not have washed your hands after you go, and then all of your body carries germs, and you touch other people's things like that, you catch those germs, and that is why you will not use it, or you will make sure you put water on it and you wash it separately. You don't mix it, or you wash it in very hot water first. But coming back to the point, will we allow such a person in the house? So do you think whenever he asked for people to come go into their houses, he was allowed in their house? No. Chalo.
Small bugs he refused. Instead of the small faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness.
Okay, so generally he was thrown out, he was spoken to badly, and he was said, go away, don't come near us. This evening it was a change. The person allowed him in his house. So instead of sour faces, bad language, which ordinarily met him, there are so many homeless people in India also on the street if you go near the station and everywhere. So one, think about the abundance we have. Second, think about we don't want to get into that direction. Everybody in life needs a purpose. And food is never a purpose. Clothes are purpose, but you don't need 10,000 pairs. Everything else is an abundance. You need a car to go to work, but bigger car, the best car, the branded car is just a burden. Anything more is a burden. There's a story of an old saint, even our saints, Guru Hari, Santosh, Swamiji, lived with minimal lifestyle. Even right now also when Guru Hari travels, he just travels in a potlu. Santosh are just about to carry a potlu. Why? Minimalism, because you don't need much in your life. That teaches you that too much, gathering of things too much is a problem for you. But coming back to the point, instead of the sour faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness, because he did not have a wife and child. He was also lonely. So one of the themes of the chapter, you can say, is loneliness. Do you think the Rattrap peddler is lonely? Yes. Do you think this person in the house is lonely? Yes. So because he was lonely, he called him inside. Now, loneliness is a very bad thing. Right now it has been turned into an epidemic. Why people have become more and more lonely is because of this Mac device in their pocket. They want to spend time on their mobile phones, this jungly animal, wild animal, and not interact with people, or not do the things they should be doing in life. And that is why they are becoming more and more lonelier. They interact more with people on this device rather than talking to the person next to them. But loneliness, it is turning out into an epidemic. More and more people are getting lonely. More and more people. This phone, if somebody is addicted, almost everybody is, even I am. If it gets lost, you will get crazy. So making right use of things is very, very important. Coming back to the point, loneliness. So loneliness you can get for many reasons. Sometimes people say, Sir, I don't have any friends. Sometimes check yourself. You might not be worthy of becoming a friend. And sometimes some people have many friends and they can call nobody of them a friend. All of them are just people who use each other. They say there's an author. What is his name? Famous author, many books. People call him, most of the companies of the world call him. क्या नाम है भैया? स्वामी जी. I'll tell you his name. But he did research. And in his research he found that the cure of the modern world is going to be good friendships. Good friendships. I'll tell you the name of the author. Amazing person. And what kind of friendships? Give and take friendships? No, real friendships. And that is why we need to build friendships with people who really care about us and want to help us in progressing. એટલે આમાં બી લખેલું 2 સારા સાધુ 4 સારા હરિભગત. Because without that, in the modern world, in the modern epidemic, we are not going to survive. That is why we have to come to the staff room to meet a teacher, which we don't. There are some people in the world who think that all this, without even teaching, learning, they will do. It does not work like that. Life does not work like that. Coming back to the point, loneliness. I'll give you the name of the author as I remember. A very good author. Most of the Fortune 500 companies in the world, the best companies, call him for consulting advice to make their company more progressive. I'll give you his name. Amazing guy. What is his name? Chalo, let's figure out. I'll give you the name. Simon Sinek is his name. Amazing person. What is his name? When you go online, when you read stuff, when you interact with things online, you should, and there is no way out, you should interact with such people, as in watch their content, because they help us. What is his name? So when you go home, you figure out. Recently, in the last 1 or 2 years, he said the only one way that humanity will survive in this world with more and more technology, more and more content, is having few good friendships. Few. So 6 is a good number, 2 plus 4. Coming back to the point, loneliness, it's becoming an epidemic. Epidemic means, again, a disease of a mass level. Insomnia, people can't sleep in night, it's becoming an epidemic. And one of the reasons people can't sleep is whole day long they don't work for 10 hours a day. Suppose you work 10 hours a day, will you sleep as soon as you get in bed or not? People don't want to do. What will they do with 10 hours a day? They'll spend time with this silly animal. How will they sleep? You know, the blue radiation from this, if you use it at night, research says it will take you another 2 hours for your body to get into deep sleep. If this is the last thing you have used, good, you are not using it right now. But as soon as you get out, you are going to use it. So you have to make sure you have to make worthy use of it. Chalo.
Immediately put the courage pot on the fire and gave him supper. Then he carved out such a big slice from his potato roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his loaf. Finally he got out of an old pack of cards and played matchmates with his guest until bedtime.
So we just discussed that we will not allow such a person in our house. He's a beggar, unhealthy, not wearing good clothes, but loneliness. See, When do people do wrong things? When they are lonely. When they are lonely with the device. Or when they are lonely. Or sometimes they might do an organized crime, but that's a different story altogether. So in loneliness, sometimes you do wrong things. Right? So what did he do? Immediately he put the porridge pot on the fire. We want to think of this person without the loneliness. Should be a good person. Person good at heart. Immediately he just did not allow him in the house. He gave him porridge, is some oatmeal kind of soup kind of thing, on the fire, and gave him supper. Supper here means dinner. Then he carved off. They had tobacco. Carved off. They had pipes in the olden days, so he made 2 rolls and gave both tobacco. Finally, he got out an old pack of cards and played Mojilis, some kind of card game, until bedtime, until they were tired and wanted to sleep. See, they were lonely, so they had fun. This guy also had fun. Yes or no? But otherwise, if we don't look at this loneliness theme, can we call this crofter a good person? Yes or no? Yes, he is allowing a poor person in his house, giving him dinner for free, giving him tobacco, giving him times playing cards with him. But generally, if somebody like this comes at our house, we will generally say no, or we'll give him a place in the outhouse if we have one, or in the backyard if we have one. But in India, you will not allow such a person in your house, especially later in the night, because you don't know. It's not that the person is bad, but because these people, they are mentally upset, they can do anything. Why are they mentally upset? Why do people get mentally upset? Because they don't have a purpose in life. They don't have goals. They don't have goals and purpose. And then that is the other epidemic we are going towards. Why? Because we are getting more and more abundance. So we are getting more and more mentally upset. We want things faster. We want things easier. And that is a problem. There are some things in life you should get late, not easy. But that is what the world wants. So it's a problem. So he should be a good person. Chalo.
The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco.
Confidences means his secrets. Or something personal. Now, just an example. I will explain it to you. Now you get crazy and you become bored dayalu. And you allow such a person in your house. You feed him, you do good things with him, and then in the night you also show him your mother's gold jewelry, where it is lying, or where your father keeps money. Also show him the key. Is it a good idea? Is it a good idea? No. That is a word in Gujarati or Hindi we call bhodpan, bola. Or in English we call these people naive. Sir, what do you know about English? They are called naive. People who don't understand things. Bhodpan ma badhu karte. So this guy has become naive. What will he do? So he was generous with his porridge and tobacco, but now what did he do?
The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity the host had been a
Aram se bhaiya.
crofter at
We can concentrate on reading. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, his host had been a crofter at Ramjo Iron Works. So he was a crofter. Crofter means a farmer who rents and works on a small farm. There was a factory and they had a farm, and then he had rented the farm and used to till and sow and reap from the farm and then earn money in his days of prosperity. Prosperity over here means when he was young maybe. Now he has become old. चलो.
Now that he was no longer able to day labor, it was his cow which supported him. Yes, that Flossie was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of the 30 kroner in payment.
Okay. So now he's also telling him how much money he has. That is why I discussed that you get a person in your house and you also show him where your money lies. He also is telling him his story. Should you tell him everything about yourself? So the guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, when he was young, his host had been a crofter at Ramjo Iron Works and had worked on the land, and that he was no longer able to do day labor, and now it was his cow which supported him. So he had a cow which gave milk, and he gave the milk to Amul and Sumul, and then they gave him money. Over here, creamery means dairy, not dairy. Dairy. And then the milk supply that he gave from the cow. What is the name of the cow? Bossy. Cow's name is Bossy. He has named the cow Bossy, and he gets milk from her, gives it to the Amul parlor, Sumul parlor, or the creamery, and the monthly income he has made is 30 kronors. Kronors is Swedish currency, 30 rupees. So he has 30 rupees right now. He's telling whom? A person who begs, a person who steals, a person who barely gets to eat. For him, 30 kroners could be a lot of money, and both of them are alone. Can he commit a crime? Yes. If we keep the question papers with the answer key and we go away, you will not fulfill the dream of Swamiji that you will work without cheating. You will cheat. You will cheat. Anybody will. And that is why character is the hardest thing in the world. We say my father is watching, but we feel like nobody is watching. And we do all the wrong things. Coming back to the point. Should you do such a thing? Bring a person, give him everything, and also tell him where your money lies. Should you? What will come now? Some harm? One way or the other? Yes or no?
The stranger must have seemed incredulous, for the old man got up and went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out three wrinkled and broken bills. This he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch.
So now he has shown him where the money also is. So where is he? The stranger must have seemed incredulous, doubtful. He's like, why is he showing me the money? For the old man got up and went to the window. Loneliness. Too bhodpan. Naive, the person. Took down a leather pouch hung on a nail near the window frame, opened the pouch, pulled out the 3 10 kroner notes, showed it to the person, put it back, tied it, hung it back. If we are poor, if we are hungry, if we know there is money, if there is lying out there, what will we do? Do we have a choice? And we should not do this. Sometimes we say, our friend says, show us one question. No, what will happen? At least I will pass. So we should not be doing it. Chalo. Clear or not clear? Chalo.
Next day, both men got up in good season.
Good season means good health. After good sleep. Or good sleep. Fresh. They woke up fresh.
The doctor was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in the bed when the head of the house had gotten up.
So the crofter had gotten up and he was in a hurry to milk his cow, get the milk and give it to the creamery because you have to do it in the morning. And he was in a hurry. So this guy was lazy. He had got a bed after a very long time to sleep. But he had some vivek. So he thought that if the head of the house has woken up, he should not be in bed for a very long time. So he also like shrugged off his aras and woke up.
They left the cottage at the same time. The doctor locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man with the red trap said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way.
So from the house, crofter went the other way and the peddler went the other way. Chalo.
But half an hour later, Rattrap met the two again before members.
Why did he come back? He was not actually able to go away. And whose fault is this? The crofter, because he showed him the money. He showed him where the money was. This guy is a poor person. What will he do? He has no other option. His mind is not like the mind of the rich people. Even rich people steal. Rich people steal even more than the poor people. Sometimes. Rich people lie more. Sometimes good people lie more than simple people. So it is very hard to figure out good people in the world, and that is what is missing. King of beauty, noble natures. Missing in this world. Rich people lie more. Raja does more pap than an individual rich person. They do bad things more. It's just that people don't pay attention to them because they are rich. Chalo.
He did not try to get in, however. He only went up to the window, smashed the pane stuck in his hand, and got hold of the pouch with the 30 crores.
He broke the window, took the pouch, took the money, put it in his pocket, hung the pouch and went away. Who is responsible for this? Of course, he is stealing. But who put this idea into his head? We should not have shown him the money. Paane શું કહેવાય ભોળપણ? Naive. Somebody who is naive will do such a thing. ચાલો.
He took the money and thrust it into his coat pocket, and he hung the leather pouch very carefully there in its place and went away.
So we'll stop over here because anyways it is time. So now there will be again a twist in the story. This is like a good person helped you. You should not have done this. But you should also know you are not helping a good person. You are helping a person who is in bad need of money. He is a homeless person. This 30 kroner could help him survive for 2-3 months. Very poor. What will he do? He has nothing else to do. Right? So again, we have learnt up to this part that for poor people life is very, very difficult. And then, if you want to help a poor person, you should help them, but you should not bring them to your house and give them the money. But here, there is two themes we have understood. This guy, crofter, is very kind. Yes or no? He is naive, he is kind. The other word is also gullible. Gullible is also naive. Bhoda. And the other theme, the common theme for all of this is loneliness. And that's the theme of the story. And we'll come to know of the other theme as we go forward. So we'll stop over here and we'll take it from there tomorrow.